At first flash of Eden, we raced down to the sea.
It's now easier to listen to the voice of Nassau Community College on your phone.
Stay connected to your favorite radio station anywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app.
Never miss shows like the Nassau Morning Madhouse, It's Saucy, or the Radio Rumble Again.
Streaming 24/7, 365. Listen to WHPC everywhere.
iHeartRadio is radio and unlimited music all in one app.
Listen live now in the iHeartRadio app and at iHeartRadio.com.
Just search for 90.3 WHPC.
Hi, this is Michael Anthony. Join me Saturdays from 9 to 11 right here, and that's in the evening, for an unforgettable program. In fact, it's called The Unforgettables, and we've been on now for more than 20 years. We celebrate the great American popular songbook, and we feature all the great legendary vocalists, and jazz musicians, and songwriters, and we have a lot of fun. A lot of great guests have dropped by, and we encourage you to drop by on Saturdays from 9 to 11 p.m. right here on 90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College.
Waiting for you to come along.
Yes, we are waiting for you all to come along and play with us on Motormouth Radio, Long Island's only automotive radio talk show.
Yes, by all means, you should get out there and, well, there's no sun. Screw it. Stay inside.
Well, that's why I said we're waiting for the sun.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So going back to Danger Drive. So Danger Drive is one of them things where you don't know what's going to happen. You got to be ready for anything. Because, well, I'll tell you, the first time I got 2 blocks with the Grand National, all of a sudden, it popped. It started running like a bag of stuff.
Turds. You can say turds.
Turds is good? Okay.
You can use it.
Actually ran like a bag of turds. It popped and installed. And smoke's coming out on the hood. Didn't want to restart.
Wow.
I'm like, crap. Luckily, I'm about 3 blocks away from the garage.
Okay.
So I just got out of the car and I was like, okay, let's look. Sure enough, one of the spark plug wires popped off. That's a very interesting thing about that car. You lose a plug wire on that car will stall. It won't just one. Yeah. It just takes a complete and utter dump.
And like on the V8s, you could lose a plug and the car says,
what happened?
It'll stumble a little at idle, it'll be a little rough at idle, and then it'll be fine.
That tickled.
Yeah, right.
And luckily, of course, it was one of the ones all the way in the back by the AC box. So now that's why I always keep a bandana in my back pocket, because now I just wrap my hand in it. You know what I mean? It's not even a Kevlar heat-resistant thing. I just wrap my hand in it, jam that sucker back on there.
Right.
And, raised my eyes to the appropriate deities, and bang, zoom, off we went.
Beautiful.
Kept on going, yeah.
Beautiful.
But that's what I mean. You got to be ready for anything, because right lane. You got to stay in the right lane. You always got to keep your eye out for places to pull over.
Yeah.
And kept going. I also have my little punch list on the seat next to me, because I'm writing different things down that I see that, some of it's minor crap. Rattle here, or that this worked loose, or a little puff of smoke there, whatever. And what happens is that when you know a car like that, or you get to know a car intimately like that, you start, you start coming up with the punch list. So when you go back to the shop, back to the garage, you know what you're going to attack.
Right.
And we should attack that phone, shouldn't we?
Let's go back here. We'll go back to the phones and say hi. You're on the Motor Mouths.
Hey, Ray, it's Al Handy. How are you?
Hey, Jeep and Al. What's happening, brother?
What's up?
Nah, not much. How are you guys doing?
Sunday, talking into the radio and that kind of crap.
Exactly.
It's the day that I could put on a white T-shirt and a pair of light-colored pants, because I won't be at the shop getting dirty.
Right, exactly. Yeah, grease stains are not far for today.
Jim Mostello says hi, by the way.
I get under a car and a clean shirt, all of a sudden, poof, like it's either a brake fluid blob or it's like oil from somewhere. I'm like, oh Christ, already we're going to start like this.
Exactly.
It's like
I just walk out to the garage, I get dirty.
Right. So speaking of out to the garage, you just did quite a project on your Dakota.
Lots of welding.
Yeah. So far, it's taken me about 12 hours, maybe 13. I discovered that the right-hand side front body mount was completely rotted out to the point where the metal actually collapsed.
Right.
So I had to cut that out, which was a whole another interesting project by itself.
I'll bet.
What were your tools of choice, Al? Just so we give people some insight as to what kind of surgical implements the doctors use.
Well, everything from an air chisel to a 5-pound mallet with a hand chisel to drilling out the spot welds.
Yeah.
Okay.
That, they make it look so easy on TV. That is virtually impossible to get them centered
They got
correctly.
stuntmen for that.
I like
you
that.
You don't have a little piece hanging up.
Yeah, you had a very interesting Twitter post just yesterday that conveyed that message, but you used a little better language. I thought that, and you're exactly right. On TV, they make the biggest, most bag of crap mess. Look, oh yeah, we're just going to change the chassis and all the floor panels in this car. Oh yeah, and the cowl panel and all this roof rot. We're just going to, and like they go to a commercial and it's done. And
Done
like,
right, exactly.
Yeah, that was 3 weeks.
I want to live in that city.
Yeah. That's why I tell my wife all the time. I said, listen, if I could wiggle my nose like Samantha and go bing and it happens, but it don't happen that way.
Yeah, really.
So
now the right side one. So I got it off. And I'm putting a new one in. Well, without having all the bolts off the rest of the body, it's virtually impossible to get enough distance between the body and the rubber mount to slide the new steel in.
Right.
You have to put that rubber mount in because if you put the steel in first, it's got maybe a 2-inch piece that goes through the chassis mount that you bolt the bottom piece to, bottom rubber to, and it's a piece of steel actually, and the bolt will actually jam shut on that.
Oh boy!
So you got to put the rubber body mount in with the steel cap on it, and then I had to physically bang. It took me about 2 hours to get the actual steel body mount in.
Right.
Jeez.
And then I go over and do a ball peen test on the other mount, and guess what? I put a hole in it.
Explain for the people who don't know the ball peen test.
All right. I have my father's ball peen hammer. It's got to be close to 70 years old now.
Wow.
And it's got a small head on it. It's not very big. And the one side is rounded, and the other side looks like a regular hammer. The other side has a cone on it, let's say.
So is it like an 8-ounce or maybe a 12-ounce?
Yeah, probably 12-ounce.
Okay.
I take that and whack with the ball peen end of it. That'll put an indentation in the steel. If it's if you hit it hard enough, it'll put a concave
dent
in the steel. Well, I went to do that with the body mount, and the hammer went right through it.
Yeah.
So luckily, that one was only about maybe 60% gone. So I just plated it, and I just welded plate to it. And I'm a terrible welder. I can't weld upside down.
Well.
And I'm a poster boy for what not to do. I actually went out and I bought a pair of gloves today because my fingers were getting so burnt. Slag.
You got to be safe. And, of course, you use your MIG welding, I guess, right?
Yes.
What kind of helmet do you use?
I have an auto darkening.
Auto darkening, yeah. Those are great, yeah.
Yeah, for us old guys, I really need that.
Yeah.
I got to be able to see where to start.
Well, now I found a new trick is like wearing my glasses, my reading glasses under the helmet because they don't fit well over the helmet.
Right.
It's like that's always a trick. Like, oh, God, yeah.
Well, you can always, spend the big bucks and get your helmet glass prescription.
Right, yeah. No, that would be, yeah.
But I don't know. It was an interesting job, to say the least. I finally got everything welded up. It looks like it'll hold. And undercoated it. Primed it, undercoated it.
Nice.
Drilled drain holes in it, so
nice.
It would drain.
Yes, forward engineering.
Yeah.
I want to say to you, people, household people don't, they don't usually use a ball peen hammer, but I have other uses for it, and I just did it the other day. My daughter had wallpapered one of the walls in her room, and on that, it's a plaster wall, and I had taken out it's a little holder that holds a remote control for the air conditioner, and I knew I was going to make new holes, so I took my 8-ounce ball peen, and with the ball end, I just started tapping those holes. And my wife and daughter look at me like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm concaving these holes." Why? I'm like, because this way there won't be a burr, it won't be a raised spot where the screw was.
Right.
I said I could put a little filler in there, and I said, and I'm doing. She was, "What? You know, you're working like so precisely, like a jeweler." I said, "Because if you go too hard, it's plastic. You're going to end up making a bigger hole."
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So again, that ball peen hammer can be used for a lot of things, even around the house.
Yeah, no, I didn't even think of that. I just use my regular hammer for that.
Right.
That's a good idea because it makes a nice round indentation.
Exactly. And
Right.
then if you do want to put some filler in there, it'll actually it'll hold it a little better. It gives us a little dish.
Yeah.
So that's what it's about. You know, we kind of adapt and overcome. So
Right. So
the long-term plan, obviously, is you're keeping the Dakota.
Yes.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
what you have
I'm
to
I
trying
don't
to
think
keep
you
it
wanna
alive
get
as
rid of
long as I can.
Sure.
Right.
You got the new truck. I just read an article on the 2019 1500. It's got one of those generator starters in it. So when you pull up to a light, it shuts off.
Yeah, the stop-start technology.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's becoming more and more common. They have to do something to get the gas mileage up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a lot of the companies are going to that because it's relatively simple.
I want to see what starter life is going to be, if there's going to be an increase in starter replacements, because you're using that more than normal now.
Right.
Wow.
Well, it's interesting. It's not using the starter. It's actually using the generating unit that's hanging on the belt.
Is it? Okay.
I find is interesting because belt slippage.
Are all cars like that, Joe, that you know of, or
No, there's some of them actually use the starter
some
too.
do use the
yeah.
starter?
Yeah.
All right, so I guess it's variations and versions. Okay.
Yeah, of course, different engineers are going to have different approaches by
Now,
all means.
the question is going to be, if that unit fails or if that belt fails, is the car going to, I'm sure it'll throw a light at least,
Yeah, and maybe that stop-start thing will just...
but will it disable it? Will it just stay running at a light, or now you're just like dead in the water?
Yeah,
I
but
wonder.
then again, if it's the generator...
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Well, you know what? We'll have to see if they start putting zippers on the thing or Velcro.
Right.
Then
Snap.
we have to worry about maybe keeping a spare one
Well,
in the bed.
Like a slide hand, like on a rack mount piece of equipment, just
Yeah, right.
pull it out, boom, put a new one in.
Yeah.
Right.
Open the pod bay door, Hal.
Well, it's interesting. My sister-in-law has a newer Cherokee,
Right.
and that has a button in it, or somehow you could override the system
Right.
and shut it off. So they probably wind up being, doing that.
Yeah, you know what? We went to Tennessee this year and rented a brand new VW Atlas, and it had a button on the console.
Right.
And every time you got in the car and started it, you had to push the button to disable
Yeah,
the
only for
start
the
stop.
duration of that key cycle. Yeah.
Right,
And
but-
some car companies just like, screw you, it's staying on.
Yeah.
Unless you drop it into neutral. Like, I think some GMs, you drop it into neutral.
Well, they say
or
put it in low. I was just reading about this.
Yeah.
You put it in low and something. There was
power break the crap out of it.
Yeah.
That'll be real good for gas mileage.
Just more stuff to break,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But, well, that's good. I'm glad you got some more garage time, Al. I'm glad you effected the repair.
Yep.
And that's good.
Dakota
On to the
lives
next
another
thing.
day.
Sometime in November, the supercharger is going to go in.
Right. I was just telling Joe I got to drive a Motion Monte Carlo yesterday with the old B&M under hood blower on it.
Oh my goodness!
And now I want one of them for my car.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Oh, man, do I ever. So I'm going to start looking around, see if I can find one.
Yeah, why not? It's good for the Pontiac. Good, you got a
Yeah.
That's not considered a big block in it, is it?
Yeah, it is. All Pontiac engines are considered big blocks.
big
There's no
blocks.
small and big. Same architecture on all the blocks, yeah.
Right, from what, the 321 up?
326 up to the 455.
Yep.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Basically
Cool.
the same motor.
Yeah. So, and as they say, I'm using dual carburetors, but injection is nice, but I'd rather be blown.
Yeah, right.
So we'll give it a shot.
Oh, I can hear the helicopters now. Jeez, come on,
It's like
Ray.
control, yeah. All right, yeah.
You
Well,
get close to those FCC regulations.
we're dancing the line. Yeah, we like to
Yeah.
dance the
Friendly
razor blade
cousin
of
Charlie.
Exactly. That's what Thursday nights are for. I'm playing with traffic. We can speak freely.
Right.
So that's cool stuff. All right, Al. Well, thanks
All
for
right,
the call,
guys.
and we'll keep in touch.
Yeah, thanks for the
appreciate
call,
your
man.
stuff on the radio. It's great.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Al.
take care.
Too kind. Take
All
care.
right. So long. That was old Jeep and Al. You can catch him on Thursday nights on Playing in Traffic
Right.
with myself, Louis Lee, Lou Santiago, Tori de Blasi is on there all the time with us, and Al is usually
Quite the crew, yeah.
It is. It's pretty cool. We had some good stuff, but I also got to tell you, if you want to have some good fun with some country, you got to listen to the Country Show Fridays at 9 a.m. So if you're on your way to work, it's hosted by Colton Murray and G.N. Lewis. They play contemporary country music, showcase showcasing interviews and legendary artists and all that cool stuff. So check it out. It's one of my favorite shows. But for now...
Country's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.